What's going on, young folks? Welcome back out here to another story time with Rev, out here on the stoop at Ebenezer Way. Tonight, y'all, we have an exciting book that we're going to read. It actually comes from the Old Testament. It's a biblical story that can be found in the book of Genesis. It deals with Joseph and his father Jacob and his brothers. The book is called Joseph's Colorful Coat. Joseph's Colorful Coat. If you want to look along in this book, it kind of goes, but it starts around Genesis 37, and then goes a little bit, moving all the way up to Genesis 50. But y'all ready? Joseph's colorful coat. Long ago, Joseph's father Jacob gave him a colorful new coat. This made Joseph's brothers angry. Joseph was younger than his 11 brothers. "Why does he get a new coat and we don't?" said one brother. "He's always the favorite," complained another. One night, Joseph had two dreams. In the first dream, 11 bundles of wheat gathered around Joseph's bundle and bowed down. In the second dream, the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars all bowed down to Joseph. When Joseph told his brothers about the dream, they were very angry. "Do you think we're going to bow down to you?" they asked. Soon after, Joseph went to find his brothers. They were still annoyed with him. When they saw him coming, they said, "Let's kill him and pretend a wild animal attacked him." But one of his brothers, Reuben, tried to save him. "Let's just leave him in this pit. If we tear his coat, Father will think that he is dead." Just then, some merchants came riding by with camels. They were on their way to Egypt. Brother Judah hatched another plan. "Let's sell Joseph to the merchants as a slave." And that's exactly what they did. The brothers went home and showed their father Joseph's torn coat. Jacob thought that Joseph was dead. He was very, very sad. But Joseph was actually on his way to Egypt to be sold as a slave. Joseph became a slave to one of the king's officers. For a long time, he was happy and trusted by his master. But the master's wife one day tricked Joseph, and he went to jail. Two men were in jail with Joseph. The first man had a dream, and he asked Joseph, "What does this dream mean?" "I squeezed 3 grapevines into the king's cup." Joseph said happily, "God knows what your dream means. In 3 days the king will send to you to be his wine servant." The second man said, "I have a dream also. I have 3 baskets of bread. The birds came and pecked the bread. What does this dream mean?" Joseph said sadly, "God knows what your dream means. In 3 days you will die." Both dreams came true. Then one day the king had 2 dreams. In the first dream, 7 skinny cows ate 7 fat cows. In the second dream, 7 straggly cornstalks ate 7 strong cornstalks. When the king told his dreams to the wise men, they were all puzzled. But then the king's wine servant said, "I know someone who can tell you what your dream means. His name is Joseph." The king sent for Joseph. He said, "I have 2 dreams. What do they mean?" And Joseph told him the meaning of the dreams. Joseph said, "God knows what your dreams mean. 7 fat cows and 7 cornstalks mean the 7 years of good harvest. 7 skinny cows and 7 straggly cornstalks mean 7 years of bad harvest." "Oh no, what will we do?" asked the king. "Save wheat from the good harvest to feed the people during the bad harvest," said Joseph. The king was so pleased that Joseph was able to interpret his dream that he put Joseph in charge. For 7 years the harvest was good, and they kept some wheat to the side. For the next 7 years the harvest was bad, but the people had plenty to eat. Far away, Joseph's father and brothers were hungry. "Oh no, what will we do?" they cried out. "We will go to Egypt. They have plenty of food," said Jacob. After a long journey, Jacob and the brothers finally arrived in Egypt. They bowed down before the man who was in charge of the food. Imagine their surprise when they looked up and saw Joseph. Joseph was pleased to see his father and his brother after all these years. The dream had all those years ago had come true. Young folks, this is a story about Joseph and his colorful coat, but it's really about the life of Joseph. That it takes him from the beginning when Joseph received the colorful coat all the way to the end, to when the brothers had to come to see Joseph. And the end, what we notice in the midst of this book is that Joseph forgave his brothers for the wrongdoing that they did. And in Genesis 50, in the 20th chapter, the Bible records these words: "What you meant for evil, God turned it around for my good." And I'm believing that's what many of us have to learn and many of us have to adapt to. That in the end, what the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for his good. Joseph had every reason to be mad at his brothers. Joseph had every reason to be angry. Joseph, who was now in charge and was like the secretary of the Department of Agriculture, was able to give his brothers food. The ones who were starving had now come to the one that they sold into slavery. They came begging and pleading and praying that Joseph would not take their life. But Joseph had forgiveness on them and said those words: "What you meant for evil, God turned it around for my good." Joseph, who was sold into slavery, before he was sold into slavery, he was placed in a pit. He was then placed in prison on some trumped up charges. But every step of the way, God was with him. And because God was with him, God turned his situation around. I want us to know, young folks, that God is with us during this time. And even though it may look tragic, it may look challenging, we may not see our way out, I want us to know what the enemy meant for evil, God is going to turn it around for our good. God is about to turn some things around in your life. Remember the story of Joseph's colorful coat. God is still blessing you and God is still favoring you in the midst of this pandemic. Stay tuned. I want to pray with you all tonight, 8:30 on the youth conference prayer call. The information is right there. I'll see you and talk to you in a couple of minutes. But until then, remember, what the enemy meant for evil, God is turning it around for your good. I love you. God bless you. But remember, Jesus loves you even more. Take care and God bless. Peace.